The results of the draw were enough to make you cry conspiracy. All of the members in the club were nicely divvied up among the 5 tables. How did this happen when the draw was that random? The thought that I was already caught in Mion's puppet strings made me feel uneasy. That was fine, though. I'll crush all your pretty tricks. Or pity tricks. Petty. Petty. Now, where are my opponents? Everybody was headed to the table corresponding with the number on their ticket. The competition at my table was... these two, huh? They look younger than me. Huh? Aren't you 2 classmates of mine?
Oh, hi. I'm Tomita. This is Okamura. Okamura. This is Okamura.
Okamura-kun greeted me by nodding his head. So my opening round was to be against my juniors from school. Just saying, it seemed like a pretty easy matchup. Lucky. Time to destroy them without mercy.
Alright then everybody, please decide on your games and start!
With Mion's declaration, the inside of the store suddenly became lively. Everybody was yelling their favorite games at each other, trying to gain an advantage before they started. Even my 2 classmates, who seemed taciturn, I don't know, at my first glance, began to fiercely insist on their own games as soon as the signal was given. Of course, I would kick those suggestions aside. There was absolutely no reason to pick a game your opponent was good at. Sorry, they're all games I don't know. Could you pick something a little more well-known? Of course, they didn't agree to the games I suggested either. I could only smirk bitterly. Naturally, after 5 minutes, this table still couldn't agree on a game. Obeying the rules, we asked the store owner to decide on a game. Clearing his throat, the shop owner brought over a board game from the back of the store. It was a game called Billionaire. Quite the vintage we have here. Come to think of it, if you lose, you have to buy this game. That damned shop owner, was he using the competition to get rid of all the games he couldn't sell?
I know this one. You guys do too, right? Spin the wheel and head to the goal?
That's probably him. Whoever has the most money after we liquidate our assets is the winner. The 2 nodded in agreement, and finally the game was underway. At that time, I already had a feeling of impending crisis. I wouldn't realize why until the game progressed a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Celebrate the birth of your child. Receive $5,000 from everybody. Sorry. Okay, I've built up a bit of a lead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bonus! Receive $100,000 from the bank.
What?
The tables were turned in an instant.
1, 2, 3. Proceed to the corporate ladder course.
Whoa, that's a good route. It seemed like my only piece was landing on the steady spaces. I had doubts as to why Mion didn't bring out board games for club activities, but that reason was laid bare to me before my eyes. That's right. I had only realized it now. This game was completely based on luck! What could I possibly do to make sure I ended up in first place at the end? The ultimate outcome of this game was decided in place beyond human hands. How were the other club members doing? My eyes were naturally wandered off to the other tables. Mion's table was... What? They weren't doing anything! Had they still not decided on a game? This naive idea existed to distract me from the most frightening possibility. Mion was lounging about, leisurely holding some juice she bought from the vending machine outside in one hand. When our eyes met, she gave me the look of ease. It couldn't be. She'd already finished? What game was it? That easily? It was probably too late to be concerned with that at this point. Only 5 minutes since we started and her 2 opponents were already beyond recourse. They were sitting there, slumped over in disappointment, muttering to themselves, trying to figure out where they went wrong. For that, they'd have no answer. Was there any reason for their defeat other than they sat at the same table as Mion? Then, what about Rena's table? The spectators were causing quite a commotion. It looked like their game was Karuta. The shop owner was apparently the one reading out the cards. Rena tended to dawdle along and space out a lot. Wouldn't she have a hard time with this game? Then I'll read it out. The dog gets tired on... Oh! Bam! I didn't click anything. That happened all on its own. At the same instant the shop owner began sounding out the words, the card in question disappeared off the face of the table. No, the face of the earth! Impossible. Where did it go? It was against Rena's cheek. She was rubbing it there.
Ah, so cute! I'm taking it home!
Looking at the card Rena was rubbing against her cheek, it was some anime-themed version of Karuta, with rather cute moe illustrations decorating the cards. Basically, it was a picture of a pretty dog girl with a slightly bare chest, or large... Oh! Whoa there! Paging Mr. I don't know who to call about that. Slightly large chest, panting and half in tears as she was being pulled along the chain. With those types of pictures, even I could play with godlike speed. Of all people to play that game, it had to be Rena. It was entirely possible that her fingertips were on the verge of breaking the sound barrier.
It's over.
Mion smiled coolly, seeing no further reason to keep watching. She turned back.
So cute, so cute.
Even if Rena wins, I'll still buy them.
Even if Rena wins, I'll still buy these cards. I'm taking them home.
After that, the second card started being read out. Bam! Bam! Such decisive sounds echoed. Well then, how about Satsuko? Oh, she was playing a rather orthodox game. Concentration. Judging from the distressed look on Satsuko's face, it seemed that she was struggling somehow. One of the main characteristics of concentration is that the pace of the game speeds up as it goes on. As the number of cards to memorize decreases, it becomes easier to match several pairs in a row. It wouldn't be exaggeration to say that the first person to take over the flow of the match can run away as the winner. The cards still in play had decreased. If you memorize the cards that have been turned over before, you should have a good chance to sweep the table at this point. Satsuko probably knew the positions of all the remaining cards. However, her turn came a little too late. If her opponent followed up, the match would be decided. Hojo, I'm sorry, but I'm also aiming for the prize money. Don't hate me for this! This guy, did he have the locations of the remaining cards memorized? He was completely certain of his victory. The tension on his face relaxed. It's over. I whispered that in a bored manner as I turned my attention back to my own game. I spun the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? No way! The Ace of Hearts should have been here! There was a commotion at Satsuko's table as the shout rang out. The other two at my table turned around in surprise. I didn't. After all, there really wasn't anything to be surprised about. The onlookers were confused, or confounded, most of them certain that the Ace of Hearts should have been there. There's no way! I must be seeing things! It must have been because I was excited! So assured in his victory, the distress over his defeat ran deep. That's how it is. If his opponent wasn't Satsuko, then the Ace of Hearts certainly would have been there. What a fool. When you're up against Satsuko, you can't let your guard down for a moment until the battle is over.
Huh? Keishi-san, you still haven't finished your match? You have no sense for these things.
With a refined tone of voice reserved for only winners, Satsuko called out to me. For the casual observer, it must have looked like she only eked out a victory. From my point of view, however, she was only playing around. The roles of winner and loser had already been decided. It was nothing more than child's play. The laughable part about it was that her opponent didn't know his role had already been assigned. Nice work there, setting up a farce with a trap of the Ace of Hearts.
My opponent only walked into one of my traps. Even then, one was more than enough.
Satsuko was a trapper. Her true talent was never having one misfire. Setting off only one trap was more than enough? Ain't that cool. The fact that the other club members were winning one after another with their own brand of play only added to my impatience and my own lack of progress. Oh right, how was Rika-chan doing? How was our club's sly little fox doing? What the heck is that? Over in the corner, the mood at the table was decidedly different from the others. The game at Rika-chan's table was... You know that battery-powered fishing game? The one where the fish opened and closed their mouths as they rotated on the platform and you used a magnetic fishing rod to pick them up? That old thing. It seemed they planned on competing by seeing who could catch the most fish, but it had become an atmosphere you could hardly call competitive.
Wow, I caught one.
Oh, you're so good! Rika-chan, you're so good at this!
Oh my, she caught another one? Rika-chan is really good at this.
I knew that Rika-chan had already charmed her opponents along with the onlookers before the matches had even begun, but brilliantly played. That corner had become an informal meeting of the Rika Furude fan club. Oh no, my phone just went off. Oops. I gotta turn that off. There we go.
It's Rika-chan's total victory! Total victory! Rika-chan's good at fishing, isn't she?
What Rika-chan is trolling is for probably isn't fish. Hearing that, she glanced over my way briefly.
This is my way of getting serious.
That's what I heard.
This is a masterful technique that only Rika is allowed. Only Rika can do it.
Yeah, a masterful technique. My Bada-san, it's your turn. I don't know what happened to that kid's voice. Oh, sorry. I guess it is. 1, 2. Fined for tax evasion. Pay $50,000. No way.